Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second annual policy conference for the Center for American Progress, aptly named Making Progress. I'm Mira Tandon, president of the center, and I welcome you all here today. Without you all in this room, we would not have had the impact we've had over the last 11 years. We are really honored to have you, and I'm really honored to have a great lineup of speakers today. For those wondering about the rising stars of the progressive movement, let me just say, they're here today with us at CAP. We'll talk about reducing inequality and expanding opportunity, the heart and soul of CAP's work with HUD Secretary Julian Castro, Mayor Bill de Blasio, Governor Hickenlooper of Colorado, Senator Cory Booker, and Senator Elizabeth Warren. We'll talk about the progressive policies that are making our communities and country safer and our world safer with UN Ambassador Samantha Power, California Attorney General Kamala Harris, EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy, and CAP founder, last but not least, CAP founder John Podesta. Today we'll hear from a broad range of voices from across the progressive spectrum because we believe in a big tent. You grow movements by adding, not subtracting, by learning from each other, not yelling at each other. My friends, we have come together at a very critical time. Like CAP itself, this conference is about the bold, practical solutions that will move our nation forward, and the next generation of progressive leaders will make change happen. But let's be candid. Election day brought many disappointments for the progressive cause. While progressive policies like the minimum wage or paid sick leave went at the ballot box, candidates who supported them often lost, too often lost. We need to ask ourselves why. Perhaps it's because many Americans feel that they are only a bit better off than during the Great Recession. Wage stagnation is a problem that started well before the Great Recession, but is still with us. And I believe unless we offer really new ways to solve the problems the country faces, people may well heed louder, angrier voices. Elections without ideas are meaningless to many voters. And we've learned this year that elections without ideas are also one-sided. So that's why we're so excited to bring all these fantastic thinkers together. I believe we have to offer bigger ideas to solve the challenges of our time: wage stagnation, growing inequality, climate change, and how to embrace a changing America. We cannot allow obstructionists in Congress to limit our vision. We do so at our peril. Because if Americans believe we don't have answers, they may well turn away, stop engaging, and looking away from politics itself. And so, if we fail to offer solutions, progressive candidates and ultimately progressive causes will fail. That's why today is so important. The conversation we start today about the country's challenges is critical. And I believe we can help chart a course for the future of change in America. I'm glad you could be part of today. We'll talk about, again, the really critical issues of our time: economic opportunity, climate, how the country is diversifying. We'll do so in a way that really brings in the audience and gets your ideas. Without everyone in this room, our supporters, friends, and allies, we wouldn't be able to make the progress that we do. In our short time, CAP has had a lot of impact. But if the times tell us anything, we have so much more work to do. It's important, as it has ever been, to supply new ideas for new challenges. Now, it's my incredible honor to introduce a man who has been working on public policy for decades, who's been at the heart of almost every significant policy debate we've had in Washington. Through 25 years in Congress, including his time as Senate Majority Leader, Senator Tom Daschle has consistently been a champion of progressive causes, and he's continued to play a vital role in shaping public policy since leaving Congress. He is also the chair of our board. But more importantly to me, he's a man who combines a policy wonk's mind, and I mean that in the best way, with a big, big heart. And I'm honored to call him both a great friend and a wonderful mentor. I'm honored to welcome to the stage Senator Tom Daschle.
Thank you. Thank you, Nira, for those very generous words, and thank you especially for the outstanding job you do as our president. We couldn't have a better leader than we have in you. I'm honored to join such an esteemed group of progressives this morning to talk about the opportunities and the challenges that we face as a nation and our movement. And I want to join Nira in particular in thanking each of you, everyone in this room, for the extraordinary effort you have made over these past years to bring us to the point as an organization that we are today, and for joining us especially this morning. CAP is an institution that believes, as Nira said, in big ideas and bold public policy. And we believe that policy, as we have proposed it over these years, truly matters and affects people in a very personal and profound way. And because of our commitment to progressive ideals, together we have made a lot of positive change happen. From launching the Fair Shot campaign for women's economic security, to expanding access to affordable health care, to sparking a national conversation about growing inequity. But we couldn't have done it without you, without our friends, our partners, and our supporters. So I congratulate you and thank you for your commitment to something that we believe is truly special. Today's Making Progress Conference is a chance to continue that work together, to meet the next generation of progressive leaders, and to be the first to hear about big ideas that we believe could truly change the course, the direction for our country. And I look forward to the day and the panels that will be scheduled as the morning unfolds. It is now my pleasure to introduce Glenn Hutchins. Glenn is a member of CAP's board of directors and a co-founder of the world's largest technology venture capital firm, Silver Lake. Glenn is also a member of CAP's Inclusive Prosperity Commission. He served on President Clinton's transition team and as an advisor on economic and healthcare policy in the White House. He's a director of the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. Glenn is a director also of the Harvard Management Company, responsible for Harvard's University Endowment. He received his bachelor's, his master's in business and law degree from Harvard. He's one of the owners of the Boston Celtics, and in his spare time, he founded the Hutchins Family Foundation. Join with me in welcoming Glenn Hutchins.
Thank you, Tom. That's one of those introductions, as the saying goes, that my father would have enjoyed and my mother would have believed. I'm going to use my technology here today. So Nira asked me to start today with my views about the mission and work of CAP. And as I was pondering how to explain my perspective on CAP, I went to the website and reviewed our mission statement. So let me read it to you. It says that we believe America is a land of boundless opportunity, where people can better themselves, their children, their families, and their communities through education, hard work, and the freedom to climb the ladder of economic mobility. We believe an open and effective government can champion the common good over narrow self-interest, harness the strength of our diversity, and secure the rights and safety of its people. And we believe our nation must always be a beacon of hope and strength to the rest of the world. We are idealistic enough to believe change is possible and practical enough to make it happen. I couldn't say it better than that, so I'm not going to try. CAP's mission, I believe, is vital, and its role in our nation's life is indispensable. We all owe a debt of gratitude to John Podesta, Nira Tandon, the entire CAP team, many of whom are in this room here. When you get a chance to see them over the course of the day, please offer your thanks to them for their entrepreneurship, getting this thing started, leadership in this town, commitment, compassion, pragmatism, action, and especially for me, for their friendship. So thank you for all the CAP people here, for everything that you do. Today, in pursuit of our mission, we're going to hear from the progressive leaders of today and tomorrow, and it's my role to get us started by introducing Julian Castro. Now, as I was thinking about this, I don't think I've ever introduced someone who's more than 20 years younger than me. I try to embrace new experiences, but I must admit that some come easier than others. All the accolades heaped upon Julian, and there are many, remark on his youth. In 2001, he was the youngest city councilor ever elected in San Antonio. In 2009, he was the youngest person ever elected mayor of a major U.S. city. And in 2014, he became the youngest secretary in the history of HUD. This reminds me of another rising star in the Democratic Party of my generation named Larry Summers, who was hailed at one of his birthday parties as the youngest person ever to turn 40. Well, I think Julian bested Larry on that one because Julian, I think, is the youngest person ever to turn 35. And certainly is the only 35-year-old I've ever known who had more than 1,000 people to his birthday party. Fortunately for us, Julian is one of a new generation of leaders fighting to expand opportunity for every American. In his 3 terms as mayor, Julian Castro revitalized downtown San Antonio, led a referendum to raise property taxes to pay for early childhood education, brought new businesses and workforce development to the city, and used innovative programs to encourage more teens to pursue a higher education. At the helm of HUD, Secretary Castro has continued to work to improve social mobility and to give every American an opportunity to thrive. He has been a champion for safe, affordable housing in neighborhoods with good jobs and quality schools. In the wake of the Great Recession and the crash of the housing market, Secretary Castro has worked to help more Americans stay in their homes and reduce homelessness among veterans. Very important task. And he's fought to make our communities more sustainable and resilient, also extraordinarily important. Like another young progressive I had the good fortune to meet early in his career, Barack Obama, Julian brings a fresh perspective to age-old debates. To quote an article about him in the New York Times, quote, "Castro is a pragmatist, sometimes unpredictably so. He supports free trade, advocates an energy policy that includes fossil fuels, and believes in balanced budgets. Like a large plurality of his fellow San Antonians, he is Roman Catholic, but he was the first San Antonio mayor to be Grand Marshal of the annual Gay Rights Parade, and he is pro-choice. Quote, "The Pope and I have to disagree on that one," he says with a smile. So I thought, though I met him for the first time today, I just know it's going to be great fun to watch his career unfold. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage a champion and an inspiration to the progressive movement, Secretary Julian Castro.